there we go. First top end. Now we're having some sort of thing go on. I don't know. I hope it's not to the point where KTM just wants KTM dealers to do top ends. So I had problems. I was doing the thing. Now you can see no blinky. And it works perfectly. So let me tell you what I did. Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you with another video. This one is a tech video all the way old school, showing you how to do stuff. We are working on the 2023 300XC. So it is a TBI KTM. We are doing a top end. You've already seen the thumbnail. You know that's what we're doing. We're going to be putting a piston in this thing. We're going to be seeing if the oil ratio that I was running is good, if it's gummed up the power valve, if it's done any damage to the cylinder, the way I've ridden it, broken it in, all that good stuff. We'll talk about all that as we go, and we'll take a look and see how the thing looks. Bike's got 107 hours on it, including a hard enduro, lots of other hair scrambly races. It's been to sea level, it's been to 12,000 feet. It's been all over. The bike has been amazing. It's absolutely one of my favorite motorcycles ever. And now we're going to find out what is inside this thing, what the motor looks like, and all that good stuff. So first things first, I already took the pipe off, obviously seat and tank. Now we got to drain the coolant, and then we're going to start taking things off. All right, guys, so next, I'm going to take power valve covers off, take the engine head stays off, the hoses off, just getting kind of everything out of the way. I don't think I need to show you that in depth. I will show you the other power valve because that's the electronic side. But actually, I don't even know if I need to take this off because the nut is below it. I might try to not, because like the less stuff I can take off, the better, in my opinion. But definitely get the head stays out of the way and get all the hoses out of the way. Yeah, I think this is going to go really, really well. All right, so on this side with the electronic power valve, we took our Bulletproof Designs guard off. Now we got one more bolt. But actually, before I do that, I want to take this off, which that's interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting plug. I might try to actually just pull this off and hang it down, because that is why you have to reset the power valve with the dongle, and if I can avoid that, I will. Oh, there we go. She fell right out. Perfect. So now just let that hang. Actually, I'll put it up here, out of the way. Now these are going to move. Let's go grab 45 Torx and get these head stays out of the way. All right, guys, so what I did there, unhooked the CCP sensor. So that's nice. I'm just going to leave it attached because it does have a stepless clamp, which will be, I do have the clamps and the tool to do that, but it'd be nice not to have to do that. So leave that hooked up. Now we're just going to get all the hoses out of the way. So that piece there, guys, that is the temp sensor for the motor, just to tell it what temperature it is, to adjust jetting, mapping, whatever. No T-hose on this bike. There is a plastic hose going up in the frame. I'm just going to leave all that alone. I think you can buy parts for that, but I'm leaving it alone. All right, guys, there we are. RK Tech head, looking good. Definitely, I don't know, looks great to me. Burning maybe a little rich, but that's how these bikes are. These bikes are super rich from the factory. So I'm really happy with the way that looks. We'll get that cleaned up. Probably go put that in the ultrasonic right now. I'm not going to give you any peeks in there. I've already looked. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get it off without taking the power valve covers off, because that would be really cool. Now I'm going to take them off and inspect everything, but it'd be pretty cool if you could get this thing off and on that fast. Let's go grab a 13mm wrench. All right, guys, so I'm running into a problem. I was definitely worried about my flange guard is not letting me get it up and out of the way. So I'm going to have to get that thing off of there, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. All right, guys, got her out of the way. Show you. It just wants to hit right up in there. It's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. Got it out of the way. We'll put it back on. I like running it, especially with that Motos pipe. I'm a little bit concerned, being as tough as that thing is, that if it hits something really hard, it could do damage to the flange. I'm probably gonna have to set you guys down here. Yeah, gonna have to set you down and pull this off. Boom, there we go. Let's go take a look. All right, before we go take a look at that cylinder, let's take a look at the piston. Honestly, it looks really good. It's so weird, this crank moving like that. You can see it's like, it looks like it's notchy. It's because of the magnets and all the stuff with the fuel injector. It's so weird. But piston looks good. Definitely a little black. Getting a little bit of blow by here. So definitely time. It's like 100 hours is probably about correct. We'll pull that off and bring it over to the bench here in just a bit and take a close look at it. But let's come over and look at the cylinder. Guys, the cylinder looks really good. Super happy with how it's looking. Definitely going to run my hone through it, but it's looking really good. No scratches, nothing that I can feel. I'm running my fingernail through there. I'm gonna go get a ballpoint pen. I learned that trick from one of you guys. But I'm first gonna take a flex hone and run it through here. Cue all the non-hone guys. Go ahead. Give you a second. Comment below. Just keep commenting. Okay, there you go. Do you feel better? I'm running a flex hone through this thing. Here is why. First of all, it's a high-end, nice, diamond-coated flex hone. It's not some cheap thing I got at Walmart. It's very, very nice. It's the correct size, all that good stuff. Secondly, if that plating is going to start coming off with the flex hone, I want to know now before I put the thing back together. Because in general, it shouldn't, right? It should just deglaze everything and re-put a crosshatch in there and do all that. So I'm going to go do that. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so that is, I took the cylinder, I honed it, I put it in the ultrasonic with the head, let it just kind of cook all the grease and gunk off. So let's take this piston off and take a good look at that. Put it there so nothing falls down into the crank. We'll go grab our pick and pop the circlip back. All right, got her. Let's go over here to the bench. There we go. Now everybody has figured out, or at least saying that they figured out, that these are the same pistons as what came in the other bikes, the old 300s. I believe that, but we're gonna find out, because I ordered a Vertex piston for one of the old bikes because I couldn't get a piston from KTM. I don't see the V mark on this. Oh, there it is. Vertex piston 1505. Hang on. Let's go get the new one. I did have to buy KTM gaskets because the base gasket and a few other things are different. So I'm fortunate that I was able to find those from my local dealer. Here it is, Vertex. So this is 1510. I'm guessing that's because I got the B size. We'll check it and make sure, but everything else looks the same. Super happy about that. So that's a good thing. So I can confirm that the old piston does work in the new bike, and confirm that this is a Vertex piston and that the cylinder is an Elco cylinder, not a Kymco. This is not a Kymco. This is legit good stuff from Vertex. Take a look at the rings real fast. No obvious issues there. Like I said, this is a B. I'm guessing this is an A because it's the 1505. This is 1510 because they go, or yeah, 1510. They go up in 0.05 of a millimeter. Also, we're going to check this and make sure this is the same as the old 300s. All right, we've got a new one. Looks about the same. Feels the same. So everything is so far matching up with the old stuff. All right. So I did run that with the CCP on there. So we'll see if that was a good idea or not. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it is. I think it'll be all right. It's not that hot. Definitely not as hot as it gets when it's under operating temp. So, quick, just to show you guys, the cylinder looks brand new. Really happy with how that turned out. I'll take our O-rings out. Now, I don't really want to take this power valve apart because it looks good. Looks perfect. And I've actually got a video showing you guys this power valve. So, at least from the outside, I'm going to make sure that everything moves like it's supposed to. And everything's perfect. And I'll show you here. It's not even that built up with carbon. You can even still see some bare metal there. That looks really good. I'm going to leave it. Make sure you subscribe. Next time I do a top end, I'll go ahead and take the whole thing apart, but I don't feel like I need to do that right now. All right, guys, sorry. I went ahead and took the covers off. I took the other one off, but I figured I'd show you this. This is how these things move. They're totally different than the old ones. I took it off because I wanted to make sure I blew all the water out and got this nice and dry. But yeah, so super cool. And then as it opens all the way up, let's see, yeah. So as this opens, this is it opening, there we go. Then it turns the tumbler, there we go, and back. So super cool. Basically the same idea, but actually less pieces and way more simple, which I like a lot. Spray some lube in that. There we go. Now we got that all happy. Now let's check our ring end gap. The way we do that is we'll take our ring, we're going to put it in here, and then we're going to take our piston and use it to flatten it out. We're going to check our end gap. We want it to be probably about 9 to 10 thousandths. Maybe a little bit less, so let's check. Make sure it's let's make sure it's at least 9. Yeah, so that's good. The reason you're checking end gap, guys, is if it's too tight, when it heats up, it'll touch, and if these two ends touch when this bike is running, it's going to seize. That's all there is to it. So you got to have some gap in there. Do the other one. To be honest, I haven't had to file a ring in a very long time. All right. Feel good about the rings. Now, as with all Vertex pistons, it's got these circlips that are definitely a bit of a pain in the butt, but if you've done them enough, it's not too bad. I'm gonna put one clip in while it's here on the bench. bigger flat blade here. Super close. There we go. All right, now let's go put it on the bike. I'm gonna take a little bit of assembly lube and put it in here. Bearing. Put our arrow on the piston facing forward. Got our new circlip. Gonna put it in. All circlips need to either go with the gap down or up, not to the side. There we go. Now I'll go grab our rings, make sure they're lined up to the pins. On our rings, guys, there's a little mark. You always want that up. But on two-stroke, it doesn't matter which ring goes where, they're both the same. Like as far as up or down. Take our rag out because everything is now installed that needs to be installed. Now we're going to make sure our base surface is nice and clean. I cleaned it once already, but we're just going to make sure get it nice and clean. All right, so got our base gasket on. Everything's happy. Now we're going to go grab our cylinder. We're going to put just a little bit of assembly lube on the cylinder, and we're going to slide it nice and easy on top of there. There we go. Nice and easy. Don't force anything. Boom. Just like that, guys. So now we're going to put our base nuts on, tighten those things down. I don't have a torque spec for them because it doesn't matter, because I can't get a freaking torque wrench on them anyway. Not without doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and you just don't need to on a two-stroke. I am, however, going to tighten it on a crisscross pattern, so I started with the back left, going to the front right. All right, guys, got the head out of the ultrasonic. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. I got everything nice and clean. Now, here's the thing. On these two-piece heads, guys, you need to replace this inner O-ring that goes right here. So make sure you do that if you're doing a top end. Now, get our head O-rings out, put them in. Nothing special about that. Now, with this style, I like to take the insert, put it up in there, and get a spark plug, screw it in here, a new spark plug, screw it in here so I can help hold it up as I put it on. Otherwise, this thing wants to drop out and that little inner O-ring can get out of whack. All right, guys, so you can see the head's on here. It says here, front. So you want that to go to the front, and then line these holes up. But these, as you can see, it doesn't index like the other one. It doesn't have dowel pins, but it does have a lovely big thing that says front. All right, guys, got all those head bolts torqued down. And by torqued down, I mean I made them tight. Did not use a torque wrench on that. You just don't need to do that on two strokes, guys. I've done it. It works. Well, I don't know. You just don't need it. If you've been doing this as long as I have, you don't need to. Now, if you're brand new and you don't know what that kind of feels like, absolutely. Grab a torque wrench, figure out the torque specs, 100% agree with that. But if you've done a million of them, this is just like all the other ones. Just do a crisscross pattern, make them all nice and tight. Now I'm going to put all the hoses back on, and then we'll get the, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to bring you guys in for that. But then I will bring you guys in for hooking up the power valve and getting that back on there. And then we'll put it all together and see if we need to calibrate the power valve. I don't think we will, since we didn't unplug it. Then we'll start it and see if I messed up the crankcase pressure sensor by running it in the water. I don't think I did, but we'll see. All right, guys, got the hoses all on. Now it is time to deal with the power valve. So this thing, I didn't move this at all. So I have been messing with the thing as showing you guys it moving. So what I need to do is grab a pair of pliers, checked by looking up in there, and this would be closed because it was off. So we're just gonna slide it on there. All right, guys, so we got this on, but I'm gonna show you something. It wasn't cooperating at first. And I'm not sure exactly what happened when I took it off, but this, hold on. This groove was not lining up with that groove, even though it was closed, it's supposed to be good. So what I did to fix it, and we're gonna find out, right, when we fire this thing up, and hopefully everything's good. Let me show you. As I took my throttle, I did the dongle thing. So I took my throttle, turned it to halfway, put the dongle into the thing. Then I held this up and I got it close, right, to where it needs to be. Then I rolled this forward. There we go. And while it was moving, I pushed it on. I basically cheated the system, but it worked. Now we're going to install the bolts and the cover. All right, guys, got it all hooked back up, got coolant in it, gas in it, everything's hooked up, everything's tight. Let's see if she starts. So it's good. It is blinking a code. It's the 5 blink code for the power valves. Probably because of the problems I was having with it. I'm going to try doing the reset thing again and see if that goes away. That never did work before. But now that it's all bolted up, let's see if we can't reset that. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Let's see. It's showing me the blink code right now. And I'm going to roll it forward. Alright guys, so I have my blinky code. There it goes. And now it stays on when I rev it. So there we go. First top end. Now we're having some sort of thing go on. I don't know. It seems to run great. I'm going to take it for a spin, but I don't know what that is. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why I had to do that with the power valve. So maybe there's something going on. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But there you go. There's the top end. Make sure you subscribe, guys. I don't think I did anything wrong, but now we know that, I don't know. I hope it's not to the point where KTM just wants KTM dealers to do top ends. I'm definitely going to give my guys a call, see if we can't get this thing plugged in here pretty soon, and see what they find, see if there's anything actually wrong with it. But yeah, it seems good. Alright guys, so before we end this video, so you saw I had problems, I was doing the thing. Now you can see, no blinky. And it works perfectly. So let me tell you what I did. I unplugged, so you saw, I had problems, it kept blinking, then it stayed on. I was like, oh man, I got a real power valve problem. So bummed. I was going to have to go talk to Davis and have him plug it in and all that stuff. But before I totally gave up on that idea, I unplugged my ECU. Unplugged it, sit over here. I let it sit for 20, 30 minutes, I don't know, a while. Let it just sit there. I plugged it back in. I got my dongle. I set this. I got more precise about setting this at half throttle. I measured and whatever. I set that at half throttle. I plugged the dongle in. I let it sit there for a bit. I rolled the throttle off. It did its clicky thing. Boop. No more code. So we got it fixed. And maybe that means that KTM finally gave us a little bit of control over the ECU by the fact that I unplugged it. Because I've tried that before in the past with some weird codes and it would not work. This time it worked. Code's gone. Ready to rock and roll. That's how you do a top end on one of these things, even if you have little problems. There you go. Give me a call. Shoot me an email. Comment below. Let me know what you think. If you have any problems, we'll definitely try to help you out. It's awesome. Hey guys, I got to jump back in here at the end of the video. Sorry, I know you thought it was over. So I did get the thing fixed. The blink code went away. I'm really happy with that. Seems like the new map, the most recent map for that ECU, allows us to unplug ECUs and clear codes and all that. So I'm really, really stoked about that. That makes me feel good. But I just found out from one of you guys on YouTube or social media, anyway, someone on the internet let me know that to keep that thing from turning and causing a problem while you're doing a top end, you need to disconnect the battery. Now, I cannot prove that because I've already got the bike back together and running, and I rode it last night, and it runs great, and the top end worked out well, feels snappier, all those things. So I can't prove that. But I wanted to let you guys know that I believe, and it sounds right, that if you are going to do a top end and you're going to pull that actuator off, disconnect the battery first, maybe just take the negative lead off and then do your top end and it should stay in place. So want to get that out to you. Sorry I didn't put that in the main part of the video, but yeah, I think it's going to work. I think that's going to be a good idea. If you don't, then you can follow the instructions that I did and make it good. Thanks a lot, guys.